So I'll be doing a live stream this coming Wednesday on October 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern. I have no idea what game I'm playing, but I'll be doing it anyways. Hi, Guardiane here. Sorry I didn't do my typical fart introduction thing. I just running short on time. I have to go out, and I thought I'd do a quick update video to let you guys know what's going on. Sorry I haven't done any random live streams or anything. Same old stuff. I've just been completely busy with work and everything else. I'm still working on the Worst Games episode, part whatever of Ride to Hell. Hopefully people aren't getting tired of seeing that yet, but I figure, because it's going to go on a bit, that next month for sure I'm going to change it up and do either a different Worst Games episode of something else. Maybe like I'll do an old school style Worst Games episode, like where it's just text, or some older crappy Nintendo game, or something that's really quick to play in one video, not spanning across a billion videos. Or I might just finish my top 10. Remember that? My top 10 series I started like a billion years ago? I think it was like 7-8 years ago. I never finished my NES top 10, so I thought I'm just going to take whatever games are left and just sum it up in one video and finish it. I mean, I'm halfway done it. I was halfway done it years ago. I just never finished it for whatever reason. So I might do that instead. Something different, so you guys are getting bored of the same old, it's this game again, you know? Other than that, I've been busy with working on this. And this is you should recognize it, an SNES Mini. It's not mine, it's actually Jesse's, but I noticed he had this and an NES Mini sitting in his house just collecting dust. I mean, I don't blame him, because there's only so many games on there, and it's kind of just a novelty thing. I'm like, whatever. And I thought, well, I have a PS1 Mini, and as you know, I've modded mine, so you can play everything on it. All the PlayStation games, like the whole damn library almost, whatever games I remember playing. SNES games, NES, Atari. And I looked it up, and I'm like, yeah, you can do the same thing for one of these. And in fact, it's a little bit easier with this thing, with a program called Hackchi. And I didn't know this existed until I got my hands on this and started YouTubing everything. And Hackchi is a brilliant tool designed by brilliant people. I don't know who, but it's amazing. That it's a universal tool for the SNES Mini, the NES Mini, and the Sega Genesis Mini. And might be other ones too. I'll note them here if there are. I don't think it works for the PS1 Mini. Where you can pretty much does most of the work for you. You just give it the ROM files, and it'll transplant them onto your system so you can play them. It's not that simple, unfortunately. For most games like SNES games, NES, Genesis, those ROMs are easy to transfer to one of these. But older, like Atari, Amiga, those are harder. PlayStation, it's pretty straightforward too. Maybe a little bit more complicated, especially with the old school PlayStation games that have multiple bin files for just the way they were broken up back then. Those are a little more tricky to get working. But for the most part, the tool does almost everything for you. It installs a kernel onto this thing for you, and what the kernel does is pretty much installs RetroArch on this thing. It works alongside the default SNES games. RetroArch, for those of you that don't know, is the same thing I use for the PS1 Mini. It's just a universal tool that allows you to play any emulator you want on whatever device. Whether it be PC, you can use RetroArch on your PC if you want. SNES Mini, NES Mini, PS1 Mini, Raspberry Pi, whatever. RetroArch is good for everything. Hackchi is the tool used to transfer all this stuff to the device. And RetroArch is the software itself. Look it up. There's tons of videos on it. I go to these YouTube users usually for stuff, and they're really helpful. But yeah, I've been spending 2 weeks on this thing, because I had to go through my entire ROM collection. I had to find all these BIOS files I didn't have, or I had older ones, I had to find newer ones. But the good thing is, once you get that sorted out, it's good for any device afterwards. So I don't have to do it all over again if I get like a Sega Mini or an NES Mini, but I probably won't, so I'll only have to do it once anyway. But it's cool now, because I thought this thing wouldn't be that powerful. Like, I thought a PS1 would have to be naturally more powerful because it's playing PlayStation games as opposed to older school SNES games or whatever. But no, this can play PlayStation games just fine. Even plays, but it's strange because some DOS games on here don't work that well with DOSBox. Some work great, like Commander Keen, the old side-scrolling Duke Nukem, but games like Heretic and Hexen, Shadow Warrior, Duke 3D don't run so well on here. They don't for me. If people are watching this who are familiar with doing this stuff and give me any advice, please do so, because I used whatever Hakchi mods they had for DOSBox. There's only two of them, DOSBox and DOSBox SVN. SVN works better. But some games, for whatever reason, just don't want to work for me. Like Shadow Warrior is super choppy. Duke 3D was okay, but it just suddenly stopped working on its own. I don't know why.
Sweep the lick.
And what was the other one?
Jeez, I don't know.
Blood. That's it. Blood doesn't work at all. It's super choppy. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. They can play PlayStation games fluently, but DOS games it can't? It's just an emulation thing that I'm missing. I've tried everything and I gave up.
You're done.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing for 2 weeks, is mainly working on this for my friend Jesse, which I'm going to debut to him tonight. We're going out soon. Other than that, Worst Games episode will be out the end of the month. I'll probably change it up next month. Nothing else really new happening here otherwise. Working, same old stuff, COVID-19 everywhere. I just haven't had time to do anything else. So if you have any questions about this, you want to think of modding it yourself, I could make a tutorial video, but there's a billion out there already, and I'll just get lost in the array of other videos. So, alright, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I'm going to go now and... Oh, and don't forget, I'll be doing a live stream this coming Wednesday on October 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern. I have no idea what game I'm playing, but I'll be doing it anyways.